I met you on a Thursday, Friday I took you home. Well, Saturday I'm begging you, baby, just leave me alone. You're turning me upside down, pull me to the ground when you shake me, shake me. I'm giving you what you need and I'm begging, please don't break me, love.
There's a Highlander video game. Did you even know that? I didn't. I wish I didn't now. And it sucks. Oh my god, it sucks so hard. You know what the worst part is? I knew long before I even put this in the machine that it was gonna suck. It's got all the warning signs. Just look at this thing. You couldn't have made this game any less appealing if you covered it in dead plague rats and set it on fire. Although, trust me, that would be a good start.
Okay, first off, it's based on the Highlander cartoons, which of course have almost nothing to do with the movies, and in fact take a great many pains to betray many of the fundamental aspects of the series. So you'd better be a fan of the cartoons, because if you liked the movies and thought this would be a good game to pick up, get ready to be left in the dust.
In ancient times, lived a strange race of people, the Druids. No one knows who they were or what they were doing.
7 centuries have passed since the Earth plunged into darkness.
Why?
7 centuries since the Jetitor swore to regain for man his lost knowledge and freedom.
Okay, who are the Jetitor?
All the immortals took the oath, all except one who dominates the world.
What oath? Who's that? None of this matches anything I've ever seen in the movies!
Alright, most of these questions are answered in the series if you're willing to suffer through it. The cartoon is set in the post-apocalyptic future, and really, I don't know what it is about Highlander that makes people think it'd be a perfect setting for after the bombs fall and wipe out all life on the Earth. Anyway, that's what happens. An asteroid hits the Earth and sets off all the world's nuclear bombs. And 700 years later, people ride tauntauns and have fruity rope rituals at Stonehenge. Apparently, all the remaining immortals decided that fighting over power was stupid when confronted with their responsibility to rebuild the human race. So they took an oath of non-violence to forget about the game. But as soon as they all took the oath, they're betrayed by Cortan, who had his fingers crossed the whole time.
I refuse to take this ridiculous pledge.
What? Oh, damn it! And he looked like such a trustworthy guy!
That's pretty naive of the Immortals to just assume everyone everywhere would just throw down their swords forever and not have a contingency plan in case one of them was, lying and secretly planning to take over the world.
And since no one will do battle with me, I declare myself the last immortal and claim the prize. Supreme knowledge and absolute power.
Wait, I didn't know he could do that. Can he just claim the prize? I didn't know he could do that. Can he do that?
You have no right, Cortan. You are not the last.
Okay, hold it. Wait. What the fuck is up with this guy? I mean, with the lips and the... Is this guy in blackface or what? Is this serious? This is the most racist thing I've seen in animation since... Yeah, okay, never mind. Hang on a second. I gotta find out who made this. Oh, I see. It's a French-Canadian company. See, you gotta remember, most Canadians have never even seen a black person before.
Because black people are smart enough to live somewhere warm, where we play real sports. Hey-oh!
Alright, where was I? Why does this guy look like Jessica Biel? And why is he wearing a cape and wrestling tights? And wait, Ramirez is in this? Well, apparently, which seems to indicate this is in continuity with the rest of the movies, but don't ask me how, since Ramirez dies every time he makes an appearance. And I'm serious, this is somehow in continuity because Connor McLeod from the first movie is in the show. He's the only guy with the balls to break his oath and attack Cortan, and, well, he basically gets his ass kicked and killed in one episode.
This time, McLeod, I really will be the last.
You may have beaten me, but be warned, Cortan.
You talk funny, Nash. Where are you from?
Lots of different places.
Yeah, do any of those places include Scotland? Because it sure as hell doesn't sound like it! So, way to piss on the few familiar things fans might actually recognize.
But soon an immortal will come to confront him. His name is Quentin MacLeod. He is the Highlander.
Is every fucking McLeod throughout history an immortal? I guess that's the problem when you call your series Highlander. Your hero always has to be a Scotsman. Unless you're making a spin-off show with Amanda called The Raven. God, that sucked. I guess people just like saying McLeod.
McLeod.
You cannot die, McLeod.
I am Connor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
McLeod!
McLeod!
Anyway, the biggest kiss of death on this game is that you can only play it on the Atari Jaguar CD. You remember that piece of shit console that looks like a toilet and doesn't work? Yeah, that one. You remember the nerd's repeated and ultimately failed struggle to get 2 of them to work, even employing the smartest electronics expert he knows to no avail? And surprisingly, the one I bought didn't work either. But I have a secret weapon that even the nerd doesn't have. I know a guy who's smarter than anyone. How's it going down there?
This abomination is a piece of crap! I got it to work. Barely. But the thing about the Jaguar CD is that not only is it prone to hardware failures, it's prone to about 5 different ways it can fail. It can fail if the CD device isn't perfectly set on the machine. It can fail if the contacts aren't clean. It can fail if the memory track cart isn't perfectly set. And it can easily fail because the laser itself or the motor mechanism are defective, and they often are. And in this case, it would often fail because the lid is so poorly designed that when closed, it actually closes too tightly and mashes the CD against the inside of the drive, preventing it from spinning, and that can easily cause additional internal damage. And of course the video quality is shit. The only output option on the Jaguar is this stupid RF antenna switch box which produces this horrible wobbly signal, and this in an age when even the Super Nintendo had RCA cables. And even when I did get it to work, the Jaguar still froze all the time, and I do mean all the damn time. I mean, why is there a 10-digit keypad on the controllers? Why are there handles on the cartridges? I've never worked so hard to get something this broken to function. I could be playing house right now!
And as a final epitaph to that story, after spending 3 days getting the thing to work, no sooner had I finished getting footage for this review than the motor on the CD drive completely crapped out. My Jaguar CD is now, well and truly forever, dead. Okay, so basically this game is just the first episode of the series. Cortan already rules the world and has Iggy Pop hanging around his palace as some kind of weird sex gimp. Cortan's straight up thugging right now just because he can, and he needs people to work in his underground obedience domes or something. And he sends his stormtroopers in their tanks, yes, tanks, to Scotland because, Scottish people work hard.
Where are we hunting today, Major Iraq?
The Highlands, man.
The Highlands? But, Major, that's where the Dundees...
Silence! Cortan's orders.
Eternal power to Cortan.
Eternal power to Cortan.
Yeah, hail Cortan, whatever. I gotta tell you, this geography doesn't really look like Scotland much. I don't remember any huge deserts and massive canyons in Scotland. Oh well, I guess the meteor and the nuclear bombs did all that, my bad. Anyway, the cyber super macho man and his men sacked the village, killing Quentin's mom. With her last breath, she tells Quentin that he's not a Dundee, but a MacLeod, which is, important?
You must face them, Quentin MacLeod.
Yes, my completely unarmed son. Go and face that armored division and tear their tanks asunder with your bare fucking hands.
MacLeod, why are you calling me that? Because that's your true name.
Obey your mother, boy. Come here and fight.
Aw, gee, thanks, Mom. Thanks for telling me I'm not a Dundee anymore. If I were a Dundee, I'd be able to say, that's not a knife. That's a knife. Now I'm screwed.
The lesson's finished, child.
Why did you call me MacLeod?
No!
I'm sorry. You were being serious. Go ahead and do it again.
No!
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 I'm serious. I didn't edit that. That's really what happens. And then we cut to Ramirez somewhere.
At last! 700 years waiting for this moment. Quite a long time, I have to say.
Why is it that none of the Scottish Highlanders in this show even attempt a Scottish accent, except for Ramirez, who's supposed to be Spanish?
I'm not Spanish, I'm Egyptian.
Then the game starts, and how do I describe this? I don't know if it's exactly fair to pick on the graphics, but suffice to say they don't look good. And the characters are ugly, blocky arrangements of polygons that present a jarring, inappropriate contrast to the rest of the game. In terms of graphics and gameplay, it's probably most accurate to say it looks like a precursor to the PC game Alone in the Dark, even though that game came out at least 2 years before this one, and somehow looks better and plays much more smoothly. What's weird is that in some cases, the pre-rendered cutscenes look worse than the in-game graphics. Not really sure how you do that. You start off without a sword, forcing you to fight the armed guards with your bare hands, and this goes about as well as you'd expect at first. You've got 3 attacks, a looping uppercut that will never fucking hit, and apparently Quentin is a big fan of the Karate Kid because your other 2 attacks are the crane kick and a leg sweep. Sweeping the leg is the only thing that will hit, by the way, because it's the only attack with any range to it. Although at one point I encountered a guard who's apparently more immortal than Quentin is because I hit him about 20 times straight in the shins and he didn't fall down. You get the sword basically by wandering around and finding it by accident, but first you have to break open the gate with a wooden stick. Actually, a specific wooden stick you find in a hut, not just any stick you could pick up from anywhere, and of course you can't use the stick as a weapon. It's only used to break open the padlock because apparently wooden sticks are stronger than steel chains. Except it won't open an identical lock on a treasure chest inside the village, which of course the stick doesn't work on. For that one you need a crowbar. A little consistency here, people, it's all I'm asking for. Anyway, you go to Stonehenge for no real reason and find Ramirez there, and he gives you the sword of the McLeods.
Do you know your name, child?
I am Quentin McLeod, and I am not a child.
I am Ramirez. I'm a jetator.
A jetator?
Actually, he sticks it in the ground and just vanishes. Where'd the sword go? Seriously, where is it?